Hello, everyone. My name is Heather Hurt, and I am here with the NRW, where nerds rule the world. And I am here with award-winning Lee Loughridge. For all of us who have been saying it wrong in the retail industry for a long
30
time,
years. Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
Yeah.
And we're here to talk about his first foray into the writing world with this new ComiXology original series, MidState, which premiered on ComiXology on Amazon, however you're grabbing that issue, on March 12th. How are you today, sir?
What'd you say?
Lost it right there.
It glitched.
How are you today?
I'm good now that I can hear you.
Oh,
Glitched for
okay.
2 seconds.
That's all right.
Technology. Oh, no worries. I'm
How are
good.
you? How are you feeling with your first issue now, as of this recording, out now a week?
Yeah, I'm excited that it's out. Honestly, all I'm concerned about now is will it go to print when they trade it?
ComiXology is pretty good at that. They're pretty
They,
willing to
I
do that.
believe they're doing it, but I heard there's rumblings that certain books aren't getting printed. So I
Okay,
really
well,
wanted it to come out in print, but I thought doing it at ComiXology, like doing it, not ComiXology in particular, but doing a book digitally first, like as my first kind of foray into writing, would be like a softer launch. In not to take anything away from ComiXology, just more that I wouldn't have to depend on sales so much as if I just launched, with Image or someone like that, and then I'd be stressed out of my mind. I thought it was a better way just to, I guess, get into the world of writing and have people know that I'm writing stories. And, like I said, it's soft launch. It was a little safer, but I would like it to come out in print. And I also even wrote this story. I have a bunch that I've completely written. I thought this one would be the best because it's a really slow build. I
mhm.
don't know that it would work nowadays, and I feel like everyone has to write every single issue. Like you've got to pack so much in every issue to keep readers coming to the next issue, which kind of sucks because you can't have slow burns or you can't really slowly develop stories anymore unless you're, a big writer.
Yeah,
So I thought this story, it starts a bit slower. I keep you guessing through issue 3, and I don't know that that would have worked in print for me as a nobody in terms of writing. You know what I mean? So,
as as a nobody, done things like Batman and
yeah,
The Good Asian and Philadelphia, and
yeah.
I literally have a Deadly Class skateboard on my wall, and here he
I
is.
made I made those. uh,
Uh,
no, I mean I've done a lot of books. Like I think I just come from that school of back in the day. If you were an inker, you were an inker for life. If you're a colorist,
mhm.
you were a colorist for life. Like there was no crossing over unless you were, whoever, Jim Lee or somebody like that. You have to be so high up to cross over. And even I pitched stories for years, and you wouldn't even be considered. It's like
Mhm.
shut up, color your books, hit your deadline. We won't really look at we don't care what you have to say, which was really odd. And I know a lot of people that have gone through the same thing. But in the past, I'd say decade, that's out the window. Yeah.
Is it feeling like just more opportunities are there, and you got is and are places like ComiXology helping with that, where you've got
Yeah,
more options?
ComiXology was great. Chip lined all this up, Chip Mosier.
Mhm.
Um, they're awesome to work with. And now that they're Kindle, it's they should probably put a little more press out about exactly what the hell's going on, because I know they're printing new books, or they're
Absolutely.
putting out new properties. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there. But they're making stuff, and I'm happy to be there. And the press has been great, and um, I've had a good time with it. So we'll see what happens. I don't know
Crossing
how
all the
big
fingers.
viewership is. I know I've had a couple reviews. One really good, one was like, but what are reviews?
Critics, what do we do anyway? We're just here.
But I
It's
get
always
it.
fun to.
I think I'm pretty pragmatic about, you know, certain things. And I feel like even
Mhm.
mid-level review, I get why it was reviewed that way, because it is a slow burn. You know, you'll get to the end of issue 1 and I want you to be grabbing your head going, the fuck is going on? You know, like that. And then really what I want you to do is I really want the reader in on the story where we all think we have it figured out. And then my plan is to turn it on its head. Just to give a little spoiler.
That's fair. It's that's actually something that I was going to bring up. It's this issue is kind of one of those things where when I got to I'm very lucky that I get to read previews. It's really cool. I'm also a comic retailer, so it's really nice to read things ahead of time, especially when you're going to talk about them.
You give me your review, and you don't have to be nice to me.
Well, one of the big things that really stands out is, and it's something that we actually talk about here on the channel quite frequently, is you never just read one. You don't give one the full review, because it's never issue 1, it's never issue 2, it's usually issue 3 where you really start seeing the plot come through. And this is one of those issues where that's really how it feels. I would go page to page and I'm like, the timeline was there, we're here. I think I need the next issue to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. I like jumping through time, so I'm giving you, we're jumping all over the place. And then there's a lot of things. I like to put a lot of Easter eggs and little things in there to make you go, wait, where you have to flip back and go, didn't he just say that 3 pages ago? Why the hell would she repeat what he just said? And why? Yeah, there's a lot of that. So yeah, I agree. I wanted you to be confused. And issue 2 gets you, it gets you a little farther. I mean, this was basically, I like cold openings. I really just wanted to introduce the characters and give you an idea that there's missing persons and what the hell is going on, and who's this guy in the wheelchair, and who's this super mean lady, and why is she, you know, I don't know how if I could spoil things on this, but why does the ending, what the hell is happening in the ending? You know?
Well, the issue is out, so if you're watching this, definitely go take a look. It's on ComiXology. It's right there, right now. So go do it. But no, that's kind of how you feel. It's you at the end. You're like, I'm a little curious to go forward, and that's the most important thing. It's you want to keep going, you want to keep reading, and once again, you should always give a book three of anything, 3 chapters, 3 episodes, 3, like you give it time. And a good book is a slow burn, so it was definitely intriguing to read. But coming into this kind of fresh and new, coming from the colorist angle, you could tell, like right off the bat, colors are going to be important to this story. How much of your history is going into this book, other than the fact that you're also the colorist?
I mean, I've read so many scripts. I mean, you've read so many comics. I read. I mean, I think I've worked on a couple thousand books, so I've read thousands of scripts. You know, some of them are fantastic. It's funny, I'm more drawn to more simplistic scripts, like slice of life, something that's just where I can just enjoy it. You know, I don't like to work.
That's fair.
But then I probably like half the scripts are kind of terrible. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, as a critic, where you're like, I could fucking do this. Like, and eventually you just, after 30 years, I'm like, look, I think it was a couple things. One, you know, we can all look at bad things and go, I could do better than that. That's the then you look at the middle stuff and go, all right, this seems more achievable, but I think my ideas are better, you know. And then when you actually make a book, it's pretty difficult because, you know, you got the whole story in your head, and then you put it on the page, and now you've got layouts coming from the artist, if you get the right artist that gets it, that gets what you're trying to convey, and then you have to letter it. And then I remember first round of lettering on this, I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, I blew it. I didn't get anything on the page. It just gets diluted, where I think it should go, you know, because it's all in your head. And then I found myself rewriting a lot of it on the page, you know, after the art. And Mac nailed it. Like, I wrote this with Mac in mind. I did, what did I do with him? When Brian Wood,
yeah, that really doesn't put it down much.
shit, I'll remember it. But I had done a book with Mac a few years back, and I had written this years ago, probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And when I wrote it, I had Mac in mind because I thought he's just the way he draws is perfect,
Hmm.
especially for this. Because I just wanted a pretty good bit of realism, and then I wanted to be a freak out during the dream states.
Hmm.
Um, I think I got way off of your question.
No, you're fine. No, you're good. Uh I don't even remember my question at this point because it's what you're saying is just flowing and it's nice. It's nice to have a conversation about books and comics, trust me.
Yeah, I'll
Talk about
babble.
movies all the
I'll run my mouth, but it is a tough thing. So I've written like 9 full series that I'm
time.
going to be rolling out, and I've taken a different approach to every one. So some of them I have the high concept, the arc, and the ending. A lot of times I like to have the ending. Sometimes I'll just leap and sew the rope as I fall. I've been trying like different ways of writing stories. I know a lot of people just sit down and write 20 minutes a day and just whatever comes to you. Fuck that. I think you need to be pointed and calculated and where the story's going personally. But I don't know shit, so we'll see. Talk to me in 2 years if anyone cares about what I'm putting out.
Absolutely. Oh no, everyone. There's definitely people that care what you're putting out. Are you kidding? With your history, oh my goodness.
Well, we'll
Um,
see. That's the other thing. I remember my other point. I'd always written things, but I never really cared to write superheroes.
mhm,
It's just not my bag. I think a lot of I'll let the superhero people handle that. I always wanted to write slice of life and just weird fucking stories. And
mhm,
I think in the past 10 years, with companies like Image, it's come to the forefront. I think people have evolved. Like back in the day, I did tons of Vertigo. Vertigo was like this alternative press. Now Vertigo is, it's kind of normalized, with the
mhm.
stories, in my opinion, that are coming out now that are not like superhero based. So I feel like in the past several years, now I felt like, okay, I think there's an audience for what I want to do because I just definitely want to take different approaches to things. I don't want to rubber stamp, how to write a comic book kind of formulas. Not that that's
Absolutely.
wrong. It's just not.
No, no.
I think it's okay to do whatever you want.
Well, and that's one of the wonderful things about indie comics altogether is that there's so much room for storytelling in different avenues in different ways, and then of course you can have all the blood, guts, and glory as well. So it's always a benefit to it.
Yeah, true.
Um, let's talk a little bit about the book itself. So you said you have 9 stories. Are you kind of wanting to build like an internal universe, or is this kind of like just 9 independent stories?
They're independent, but I Easter egg all of them.
Okay.
So they're all existing. Well, most of them are existing in the same universe, But again, none of this is superhero-y. Like I have characters that show up from different books and other books. Like they always make a cameo and there's
Mhm.
always some tie-in. And that's just for me, I think that's just funny to do. So they all live in this world, which most of the stories I'm writing kind of they're uh, not biographical, but they're definitely close to home or home adjacent. Things that have happened to people in my life, and because it's I've had a past, so it's cool to put it out, and I have friends that have had pasts, so
Oh,
it's nice.
this is the comic
Uh,
industry.
yeah, it's nice to dig out of all that, um, but yeah, they're all different time frames. But most of what I write comes, with the exception, well, Midstate, they do have cell phones. Most of the stories I write are pre-cell phone
Okay.
because I feel like it's tough to write an interesting story with technology because it's just so, especially if there's any sort of mystery involved or I don't know, if you're just trying to help someone, like you just call them. Like a cell phone just rules out anything interesting, unless the cell phone gets dropped in the water. But I am announcing a book next. maybe May
Mhm.
with Image and Giant Generator. But that one's techie. It's kind of techie. Can't tell you anything about it yet, but
That's fair. I'll accept that. But exclusive here, guys. There's going to be an announcement, so that's our
and
exclusive.
Andrew Robinson is the artist.
Okay. All
So
right. Sweet.
I think,
You heard it here first.
yeah, I think he's the greatest living artist, in
All
my
right.
opinion.
All right. All
Hopefully
right.
he'll die before then, because it'll be good press. So I've been sending him cartons of cigarettes and meth. He wanted to lose
So,
weight. I go, this stuff, you'll lose weight. Fuck Ozempic, meth.
um, all of those Twitter ads are for nothing. Um, um, sorry, I completely lost my train of thought with that.
All right, I got you thinking about meth and
A little
kids.
bit. It's the problem. There's an addiction there. Just kidding. Don't YouTube, don't get mad, please. I'm just kidding. Um, uh, with this one, then, are they going to be mini series? Are they ongoing? How are you looking at writing these?
Most of them are 5. The one I'm doing with Giant Generator is going to be 8
Mhm.
issues, but a lot of them, I even MidState ends. You know what I mean? So I have
Yeah.
a lot of them they end, but I kind of think of them as a film that could have a sequel.
Okay.
So if they do well, there's definitely every one of them has another like 5 to 6 issue arc that could continue. Midstate for sure. Midstate, the endings. I love the ending.
Well, I've only been given the first one, ComiXology. Come on now, I can do previews. Uh,
We're only on issue 4 right now. We're like
okay.
racing to the finish. It's
Still got this.
yeah, it took a while. Yeah. So Mac has been sending me pages. He swears he'll have issue 4 done by the end of the month. So basically, I just chase behind him. That's what's nice about doing the color, writing it, and
Mhm.
then doing the color, because then I can jump right on it. And when you color things too, it's like it's more intimate. You have more intimate knowledge of that art because you're in it. You're kneading it and you're cake decorating. So like I've seen a lot of art which I thought was great, and then once I colored, I realized it wasn't great. And there's art where you look at it and you go, I don't know about this. And then when you start laying color, you're like, oh, this person's thinking about it. This is really nice stuff. And Mac's really good. So I've been trying to full model a bit on his stuff. But yeah, I think it's nice to have the front end control and the back end control. And who knew I'm a lettering snob? Picky.
Now people do. That's
I'm
fair
picky.
because it's this is a big conversation with everyone, especially now when you see things that are like that's happening with DC Comics at the moment. Not to ComiXology, don't get mad at me for bringing up another company. Okay, I'm slamming somebody else. All
You're
right.
talking shit. Yeah, you can talk shit about
And I'm a DC girl to say, but it's one of those where with these things where we see that not enough people there's more than just the writer on a book. There's so many wonderful, incredibly talented people that all deserve their space on the editorial page. And so, with that being said, you can tell when the connection isn't there. You can tell when you're reading it if something is off. And if you want to be a lettering snob because that is how you want to tell your story, do it.
Yeah, I think it shouldn't take from the art. I hate when lettering looks too digital, or when you open a book and it's a terrible font, you're like, I'm out. I can't even connect. Like
Mm-hmm.
it shouldn't even be a thought,
Mm-hmm.
and even how they balloon, and yeah, I'm really picky about it. But Rob Tweedy lettered Midstate, never lettered a book in his life. He's this great designer. He comes from the music industry. He does all the stuff for all these festivals and things like that. And he's a big comic nerd. And I go, you should try lettering. Like, let's do it. So he's doing this one, and then he's doing my next book for Image that may or may not be on my hat.
Y'all see it? Y'all see it? Lee, thank you so much for your time. This was an absolute blast to speak with you. Tell the audience where they can find you on all of the places so that they can follow you and wait for that announcement.
Pretty much I'm just Instagram at Lee Loughridge. I have a Twitter or an X, but I've been locked out. Somebody hacked my account like 2 years ago, and I can't get back on, nor do I give a flying fuck about getting back on that. It's the world of hate out there. I don't really mess with it, but yeah, pretty much just Instagram. That's it. I don't have a website. I don't play any of that. She's like a Jen. I'm too punk rock for that.
To be fair.
Yeah, it's good when you're marketing yourself to have no outlets.
That's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing this. Come to us whenever you want to chat. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and all the things right here at the NRW, and we'll talk to y'all soon. Thank you guys.